Farewell, Simon Mignolet. It's been... What has it been, Shaka Hislop, for Simon Mignolet at Liverpool?
Eventful.
It's been eventful, yes. And he's off ski now. They've replaced him with Adrian, which I think is an improvement. Yes. Before we get to someone who played at your old team, West Ham, he was good, he was bad, and he was horrid.
Yeah.
How would you assess his time at Liverpool on the whole?
I think his time had far more positives than he'll be remembered for. And listen, it's almost nature of the position. You're remembered for your mistakes as opposed to your heroics. Simon Mignolet played in a team that finished second under Brendan Rodgers, and I don't think we should forget that or forget how good he was that season. But ever since, he'd been far too inconsistent, in my opinion, and certainly under Jurgen Klopp, he's never quite sure of his position. Now, for what it's worth, I thought he was a far better goalkeeper than Karius, though Klopp wanted to find a way to make Karius his number one. Karius kept giving him excuses to be left out is the issue. The trouble is, so did Simon Mignolet. And I felt that under Jurgen Klopp, you saw the best of Simon Mignolet when he got back into the team and was playing with something to prove. That's when he was at his most consistent. But every single time he did that, after about 6 or 7 games in the first team, I just felt that his standard dropped. And then he would have an error. And all Jurgen Klopp was looking for to leave him out, to bring Karius in, was that error. And unfortunately, over the last couple of seasons, before the arrival of Alisson, you understand why Klopp kept chopping and changing, and neither goalkeeper felt overly comfortable or confident that they were his number one.
That's the thing, because in 2017-18, they both played 19 Premier League games. They needed a good goalkeeper. They've got a good goalkeeper. But you know that competition for places in all spots is vital. Now, Alisson remains number one. I think he's got a better backup now with Adrian.
Adrian, without question, for me, is a better backup and an incredible goalkeeper. Listen, fell out of favour at West Ham. Him and the chairman had a little bit of a running in and an exchanging of words on social media. I'll be honest, Fabianski, since he's arrived, has been simply sensational. And I don't see Adrian getting back in simply because of how good Fabianski has been. But you also can't disregard how good Adrian was when he did have the number one shirt for West Ham. You look back to his time and how consistent he was for the Hammers during the period where he felt he was number one. And you understand how good a goalkeeper Liverpool are getting right now.
By the way, Mignolet is off to Belgium for 6.4 million, which is a decent deal. Final question. With all the fixtures that Liverpool have got, I mean, they've got a Super Cup coming up in midweek after their opener. They also have the Club World Cup. They've got League Cups. Which games would you expect Adrian to start as far as the cup games are concerned? Because Alisson, if he's fit, is going to play Premier League.
Yeah, I think as far as the cup games go and the way things have gone, you play Adrian in the League Cup. I think everything else, you play your strongest team. Okay. I feel in today's football, especially, and the way that the science and the understanding of the body and the exertions and fitness specialists, teams are better able to cope with the number of cup competitions and understand how to structure their breaks accordingly. The League Cup, I think more big teams than not, use that to play their fringe players.
Yeah, you're a different breed anyway, you goalkeepers. You don't even run around, so you don't really need
We're
to
the
be rested.
fittest players on the park, I'll have you know.
So yes, Mignolet off to Belgium. Adrian in at Anfield.
I'm off to run a lap.